The sun was setting over the planet Elindra, painting the sky in shades of gold and pink. The palace stood proudly at the heart of the capital city, its white towers gleaming in the last light. Princess Liara walked along the marble corridors, her footsteps echoing softly. Today was no ordinary day. Delegates from neighboring colonies had arrived for a grand council meeting, and the palace buzzed with activity. Servants hurried past, carrying trays of food and sparkling glasses, while guards kept a careful watch on every entrance. Liara paused at a window overlooking the palace gardens. The gardens were vast, filled with glowing flowers and trees, with leaves that shimmered like metal under the fading sun. She loved these moments of peace, but today, her thoughts were restless. Something felt different in the air, though she could not yet name it. As she turned back toward the main hall, a soft murmur spread through the palace. A figure had appeared at the outer gates, a man who did not belong. He walked with a calm confidence, his eyes scanning the palace towers and walls. Guards stepped forward, but did not raise their weapons. There was something unusual about him, something that made them hesitate. The man's clothing was unlike anything seen on Elindra. It was a dark, flowing uniform with subtle patterns that shimmered faintly. Strange symbols were stitched along the cuffs, symbols that seemed almost alive, moving slightly when viewed from the corner of one's eye. His presence carried a quiet authority, not in a way that demanded obedience, but in a way that made one feel that he belonged anywhere he chose to be. "Who is he?" one guard whispered, his voice trembling. "I don't know," another replied. "But he looks important." The palace gates opened without any command, and the stranger stepped forward, unchallenged. As he walked into the main hall, the chatter of the court quieted to a hush. Courtiers and delegates stared, unsure whether to greet him or fear him. Princess Liara entered the hall just as he reached the grand staircase. She felt a strange sense of recognition, a pull she could not explain. Her heart skipped a beat. The man's eyes met hers for a brief moment, and in that instant, she knew that his arrival was no accident. The queen, Ravina, observed the scene from her throne, her expression sharp and unyielding. She had ruled Elindra for 35 years and had seen many diplomats, soldiers, and scholars arrive at her palace. But none had commanded attention like this man. "Who is this man?" she demanded, her voice echoing through the hall. Her tone carried both authority and suspicion. The stranger bowed slightly, a gesture that was polite, yet carried a weight of dignity. "Your Majesty," he said, his voice calm and even, "my name is Kiran. I come in peace." The hall remained silent. Liara's heart raced. She had never heard the name before, yet something in her chest told her she knew him in ways that words could not describe. The queen's eyes narrowed, scanning Kiran from head to toe. She had learned long ago not to trust appearances, and this man's calm demeanor did not ease her suspicion. "Peace?" the queen repeated, her tone sharp. "And why have you come to Elindra without warning? Who sent you?" Kiran straightened, meeting her gaze without fear. "No one sent me. I came of my own accord. I have traveled across star systems to meet Princess Liara." A murmur ran through the hall. Several delegates exchanged uneasy glances. Traveling across star systems alone was a feat very few humans could manage. It suggested knowledge, skill, and resources far beyond ordinary means. Liara stepped forward, her voice steady though her mind raced. "You've come a long way," she said softly. "Welcome to Elindra." The queen's eyes narrowed even further. "Do you know her?" she demanded. "Have you met before?" Kiran shook his head gently. "Not in this life. But I have known her in ways you may not understand. She and I share a purpose, one that affects all of humanity." The court fell silent again, unsure whether to be impressed or alarmed. The queen's suspicion deepened. But Liara felt a sense of certainty. There was no fear in Kieran's presence, only a quiet strength that seemed to radiate naturally. Over the next hour, Kieran moved among the court carefully, answering questions about his travels and knowledge of other human colonies. He spoke of places far beyond the known map of Elindra, of technologies that could change the way humans explored the stars. Yet he never boasted. His words were precise, humble, and full of insight. Liara observed him closely. Each word, each gesture, confirmed what her heart already knew. Kieran was not an ordinary visitor. He had purpose, vision, and understanding. She knew that he could be the ally they needed, the one who could help unite the scattered human colonies against unknown dangers in the galaxy. After the initial meeting, Liara found a quiet moment to speak with Kieran in the palace gardens. The glow of the alien flowers bathed them in soft light. "You've come a long way," she said again, more softly this time. "Why Elindra?" Kieran looked at her, a faint smile on his lips. "Because you are here," he said simply, "and because humanity needs someone like you to guide it forward. I have knowledge of things not yet discovered here. Together we can prepare for challenges no one else sees coming." Liara felt a shiver of excitement mixed with apprehension. She had always dreamed of doing more than observing the colonies from the palace, of guiding humanity to new heights. And now, it seemed, the opportunity had arrived, carried on the shoulders of a stranger whose very presence felt like destiny. Meanwhile, the queen observed them from the palace balcony, her expression unreadable. She did not yet trust Kieran, but she could see the spark in her daughter's eyes, a spark that had always driven Liara to accomplish extraordinary things. "We will see if he proves himself," the queen whispered, almost to herself. The evening deepened, and the palace was bathed in the soft light of Elindra's twin moons. Courtiers retired to their chambers, and the guards kept their posts. Kieran remained by Liara's side, discussing ideas for exploration, technology, and the protection of human colonies. His presence was calm but invigorating, filling the princess with a sense of purpose she had never known before. By the time the stars filled the sky, Liara had made her decision. She would trust Kieran, at least for now. The road ahead would not be easy. Challenges awaited them both, political, technological, and perhaps even dangerous. But she knew that with him by her side, she had a chance to do something greater than she had ever imagined. As they walked back toward the palace, Liara glanced at Kieran. "I don't know everything about you," she admitted, "but I feel that you are here for a reason. I think we are meant to work together." Kieran's smile was quiet, full of understanding. "Then we will face whatever comes," he said. "Together." Unseen by either of them, the queen continued to watch from the shadows, her mind sharp and cautious. The arrival of this stranger had stirred something deep within her, a mix of curiosity, concern, and, though she would never admit it aloud, hope. Hope that maybe, just maybe, the future of Elindra and all humanity could be brighter than she had ever dared to imagine. And so, the night settled over the palace, calm yet charged with possibility. The first meeting had passed, but the story of Princess Liara and the mysterious stranger Kieran was only beginning. The stars above twinkled as if in silent witness, signaling that something extraordinary was about to unfold, a story of courage, unity, and the remarkable potential of humanity. The morning sun rose over Elindra, spilling golden light over the palace gardens. Princess Liara moved quietly along the paths, her thoughts still tangled with the strange arrival of Kieran. His presence lingered in her mind like a puzzle waiting to be solved. She felt drawn to him in ways she could not yet explain, yet she also knew that trust had to be earned. Kieran had requested a private meeting with Liara early in the day. While the palace prepared for the council of delegates, he walked toward her, his steps calm and deliberate. His uniform gleamed softly in the morning light, the symbols on his cuffs glinting like tiny stars. When he reached her, he bowed slightly, but his eyes were filled with warmth rather than ceremony. "You requested to see me?" Liara asked, her voice steady though her heart raced. "I did," Kieran replied. "There are matters of great importance that cannot wait for the council. I need to speak with you in private." Liara nodded. They moved to a quiet chamber overlooking the eastern gardens, a place she often went to think. Once inside, Kieran turned to her, his gaze serious. "Liara," he began, "there is more at stake than you realize. Human colonies across the galaxy are facing challenges they do not yet understand. I have knowledge that can help protect them, but I cannot do it alone." Liara listened carefully, intrigued. "Knowledge of what?" she asked. Kieran took a deep breath. "Alien technology, tools, machines, and energy systems that humans have never seen. I have studied them for years. If we combine your leadership and resources with my understanding, we can prepare humanity for threats no one else sees coming." Liara's mind raced. Elindra had always been a forward-looking colony, but she had never imagined such advanced knowledge was within reach. "Why me?" she asked softly. "Because you have vision," Kieran said. "You understand people. You have the courage to act when others hesitate, and more than that, you and I are connected in ways you cannot yet fully understand." Liara's heart skipped a beat. She had felt it from the moment he arrived, a strange familiarity and trust that went beyond words. "Connected?" she repeated. Kieran nodded. "Yes, you and I together can guide humanity toward a future it cannot yet imagine. But to do this, we must work in secret for now. The Queen, she will not understand until the results are undeniable." Liara looked toward the window, thinking of her mother, Queen Ravina. The Queen was wise, strong, and cautious, qualities that had guided Elindra safely for decades. Yet Liara knew her mother would never approve of trusting a stranger, no matter how capable. Still, the pull she felt toward Kieran was undeniable. "Very well," Liara said, her voice firm. "We will work together. But we must be careful. The palace is full of eyes and ears. If anyone suspects what we are doing, it could cause problems." Kieran smiled faintly. "I expected nothing less. Discretion is key." Over the next few days, the two of them met in hidden chambers and secret corners of the palace gardens. They shared knowledge, ideas, and strategies. Kieran taught Liara about alien energy systems, devices that could enhance human abilities, and ways to explore uncharted star systems safely. Liara, in turn, shared her understanding of human politics, diplomacy, and the strength of her people. Each session brought them closer. They discovered shared values, shared dreams, and even shared fears. Kieran admired Liara's courage and determination, while Liara found comfort in his calm intelligence. It was a connection deeper than friendship, yet it was built on trust, respect, and a common goal: the survival and growth of humanity. One afternoon, as they studied star charts in a quiet observatory, Liara noticed something unusual about Kieran's eyes. They shimmered slightly, almost as if reflecting memories from distant worlds. "You've seen many places," she said softly. Kieran nodded. "More than most humans ever will. And yet I have seen nothing as extraordinary as the potential of our people here on Elindra." Liara smiled, feeling a warmth that had little to do with the sun outside. "You speak as if you've always known me," she said. "In a way, I have," Kieran replied. "Not in this life, perhaps, but in the ways that matter. Our goals, our purpose. They were meant to bring us together." Their bond grew stronger with each passing day, though it remained a secret from the queen and the court. The people of Elindra continued their routines, unaware of the planning taking place behind palace doors. But rumors began to stir among the palace staff. Some whispered about the strange man who seemed to understand everything so quickly. Others speculated about the closeness between Liara and Kiran. One evening, while the sky above Elindra was painted in shades of violet and silver, Liara and Kiran walked through the palace gardens. The alien flowers glowed faintly under the moonlight, casting soft light over their path. "Kiran," Liara said, stopping beside a fountain, "do you ever worry about the queen finding out?" "Always," Kiran admitted. "But I also know that if we succeed, she will see that our actions were necessary. Humanity's future may depend on it." Liara nodded. "I hope so. I do not want to deceive my mother, but sometimes we must act for the greater good." Kiran reached out, gently touching her hand. "I understand, and I will stand by you no matter what comes. We are stronger together." The night deepened, and the palace grew quiet. Guards patrolled silently, and the soft hum of energy fields filled the halls. Liara and Kiran continued their discussion late into the night, planning strategies for protecting human colonies, learning from alien knowledge, and imagining a future where humanity could thrive among the stars. Meanwhile, Queen Ravina observed from her chambers, though she did not know it. A trusted aide had whispered of Kiran's meetings with Liara. The queen's sharp mind began to analyze the situation. She had long trained her daughter to think strategically, but this was different. A stranger with unknown knowledge, influencing decisions in secret, it was dangerous, yet potentially brilliant. The queen's instincts told her to act cautiously. "We must learn more about him," she murmured, "before trust turns into risk." Yet even as the queen planned her steps, Liara and Kiran continued their secret work. Days turned into nights, and their bond strengthened. They devised plans to unite human colonies, enhance technology, and protect against threats beyond Elindra's knowledge. Kiran's understanding of alien energy and tools gave Liara hope that her people could achieve greatness beyond imagination. In the privacy of their meetings, Liara sometimes allowed herself a moment of vulnerability. "Do you think we can really make a difference?" she asked one night, her voice soft. Kiran smiled gently. "We already have. Every idea we share, every plan we make, it ripples outward. Humanity is stronger than it knows, and together we will help it realize its potential." Liara felt a surge of determination. "Then we will do it," she said. "No matter the challenges, no matter the opposition, we will prepare humanity for what lies ahead." And so, in the quiet corners of the palace and under the watchful stars above Elindra, a partnership formed. A partnership of trust, intelligence, and shared purpose. Liara and Kiran, though aware of the dangers of secrecy, knew that their combined strength could change the course of human history. The days passed, and with each meeting, their plans grew more ambitious. They discussed exploration, defense, and ways to inspire other colonies to work together. Kiran's knowledge of alien systems became a guiding light, while Liara's leadership skills shaped strategy into action. The palace, once a place of routine and ceremony, became a hub of quiet revolution. And though the queen remained unaware of the full extent of their collaboration, the seeds of change were planted. A new future for humanity, led by courage, wisdom, and partnership, was beginning to take root. As the twin moons rose over Elindra that night, Liara stood by the palace balcony, looking toward the stars. Kiran joined her silently, and together they watched the galaxy, imagining the possibilities that awaited. "The journey will not be easy," Liara said. "It never is," Kiran replied. but it will be worth it. And for the first time, Liara felt certain of something beyond doubt. With Kieran by her side, humanity's future was bright, and together, they could face anything the stars held for them. The morning of the council meeting arrived with a crisp, pale light spilling over Elindra's palace. Delegates from neighboring colonies had gathered in the grand hall, their colorful uniforms filling the room with a sense of importance and ceremony. Liara moved through the hall with quiet confidence, her steps measured, her eyes scanning the faces of those who had come to witness the gathering. Beside her walked Kieran, calm and composed, a figure who drew subtle attention wherever he went. Whispers spread like wildfire among the courtiers. Some speculated about his mysterious uniform, while others wondered how a stranger could walk into the palace so boldly. Many of them, though cautious, could not help being impressed by his poise. Kieran greeted the delegates politely, answering questions with insight and knowledge far beyond what anyone expected. Queen Ravina, seated upon her throne, observed the proceedings with sharp eyes. She had remained quiet for the past few days, watching her daughter and Kieran with a mixture of curiosity and unease. Something about their interactions bothered her, an unusual closeness that had not gone unnoticed. Today, she intended to find answers. The council began with formal discussions about trade routes, technological development, and colony defense. Liara presented her proposals, speaking clearly and confidently. Kieran added comments on advanced technologies and strategies that seemed almost beyond comprehension to the other delegates. Many were impressed, though a few frowned at the level of knowledge he displayed. Finally, the queen could no longer contain her curiosity. She leaned forward, her voice ringing through the grand hall. "Princess Liara," she said, her tone sharp and commanding. "Who is this man? Speak truthfully. What is his name, and what is his purpose here?" The hall fell silent. All eyes turned to Liara, waiting for her response. Some of the delegates exchanged uneasy glances, sensing tension building in the room. Liara's heart beat steadily, though she knew this moment was delicate. Liara stepped forward, her voice calm and clear. "Mother, this is Kieran," she said, meeting the queen's gaze without fear. "He has come to assist in preparing our colonies for the challenges ahead. He brings knowledge that can help us protect our people and guide humanity toward a stronger future." The queen's expression did not soften. "Assistance is one thing," she said, her eyes narrowing, "but I demand honesty. Do you know him personally? Have you met him before this arrival?" Liara smiled faintly, a calm and confident smile that caught the room's attention. "Yes," she said softly, almost as if revealing a secret to herself. Then, turning to Kieran, she said, "He is my husband." A collective gasp swept through the grand hall. Delegates murmured and exchanged shocked glances. Some whispered accusations, others stared in awe. No one had expected such a declaration. The queen's eyes widened slightly, but her voice remained steady. "Your husband?" she repeated, a mixture of disbelief and authority in her tone. "Princess, this is highly irregular. Explain yourself." Kieran stepped forward, his posture dignified and composed. "Your Majesty," he said calmly, "I understand the surprise. I also understand the need for clarity. I am Kieran, a descendant of an ancient human lineage thought lost to time. My knowledge of advanced systems and alien technologies has been passed down through generations. My purpose here is to work with Princess Liara to protect humanity and prepare for threats we cannot yet fully comprehend." The room fell into stunned silence once more. Delegates whispered among themselves, some questioning his claims, others listening in awe. The idea of an unknown human lineage with knowledge surpassing current understanding was almost unbelievable. Queen Ravina's mind worked quickly. Her instincts told her to remain cautious, yet she could not deny the truth in Kieran's words. His knowledge and skill had already proven valuable in the short time he had been at the palace. Still, the audacity of declaring himself the princess's husband in public was bold, bordering on reckless. Liara stepped closer to Kieran, her hand brushing lightly against his arm. "Mother," she said, her voice steady and firm, "I know this is unusual, but I trust him, and I believe you will too when you see what we can accomplish together. Kieran's purpose is not just personal. It is for the good of humanity. He has the vision and knowledge to help us unite the colonies and protect our people from dangers we do not yet fully understand." The queen studied her daughter, seeing the certainty in Liara's eyes. She had raised her to be wise, strong, and courageous, and though she still had questions about Kieran's true background, she could sense the genuine trust and bond between them. "Very well," Queen Ravina said at last, her voice firm but measured. "You will be allowed to act, but know this: your actions will be closely watched. The safety of our people is paramount, and no secret or deception will be tolerated." Liara nodded respectfully. "I understand, Mother. I will act with responsibility and caution." The council resumed, but now with a subtle shift in atmosphere. Delegates listened more attentively to Kieran's suggestions, impressed by the depth of his knowledge and the clarity of his reasoning. Some of the initial skepticism faded, replaced by curiosity and cautious admiration. After the meeting concluded, Liara and Kieran retreated to a quiet chamber to discuss the next steps. "That was intense," Liara said softly, though a smile touched her lips. "It was necessary," Kieran replied. The truth had to be revealed. "Now the Queen knows where we stand, and the delegates are aware of the strength we can bring. This is the first step toward uniting the colonies." Liara nodded, her thoughts focused on the future. "Do you think the Queen will fully trust us?" "Time will tell," Kieran said. "She is wise and careful. She will watch, analyze, and judge. But if we succeed in our plans, she will see that our actions are for the greater good." Days passed, and Kieran worked closely with Liara and her advisors, teaching them about advanced technologies and strategies to enhance human colonies. He showed them ways to improve energy systems, create better defenses, and explore new star systems safely. Liara absorbed every detail, eager to prepare her people for the challenges ahead. Meanwhile, Queen Ravina observed quietly. She noted the dedication in her daughter's eyes and the calm determination in Kieran's. She did not yet fully trust him, but she began to see that his intentions were genuine. Slowly, the walls of suspicion began to soften, replaced by cautious acknowledgement of his abilities. One evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon and the sky turned shades of violet and gold, Liara and Kieran walked through the palace gardens. The alien flowers glowed softly under the moonlight, casting a gentle light over their path. "You handled the council well," Kieran said, his voice quiet but sincere. "Your declaration was bold, but it was the right choice." Liara smiled faintly. "It was necessary. The truth had to be known, even if it surprised everyone. Now we can focus on what really matters, preparing humanity for what lies ahead." Kieran nodded. "And together we will do it. There is no challenge we cannot face as long as we work in unity. The colonies, the people, their future. It is all within our reach." Liara felt a surge of determination. "Then we will begin immediately. We cannot afford to wait. The galaxy is vast and threats may come without warning. We must be ready." As they continued their walk, the twin moons of Elindra rose high in the sky, casting their silver light over the palace. The night was quiet, yet full of promise. Liara and Kieran knew that their journey had only just begun. The road ahead would be challenging, filled with obstacles both seen and unseen. But they also knew that with trust, intelligence, and courage, they could guide humanity toward a brighter, safer future. The next morning brought news of unusual energy readings on the outskirts of Elindra's system. Kieran and Liara studied the data carefully, realizing that the first test of their plans was approaching sooner than expected. "It is time," Kieran said, "to put our knowledge into action. Humanity's strength will be measured not just in courage, but in wisdom and unity." Liara nodded, her resolve unwavering. "Then we will act together, for Elindra, and for all human colonies." And so, with the Queen's cautious acknowledgement, the court's curiosity, and the people's trust slowly building, Liara and Kieran began their work in earnest. The bond between them, now known publicly, would serve as the foundation for their efforts to protect humanity and explore the stars. The path was uncertain, but their purpose was clear, and the story of their courage and vision was only beginning to unfold. The sky above Elindra darkened one morning as an unusual fleet appeared on the horizon. Unlike the familiar ships of neighboring human colonies, these vessels were sleek, metallic, and silent, moving with precision that suggested advanced intelligence. Their presence sent a ripple of concern throughout the capital city. Citizens stopped their work to watch the strange ships, and palace guards quickly assembled, unsure of whether the fleet meant harm or observation. Princess Liara, standing on the balcony of the palace, felt a familiar thrill mixed with apprehension. Beside her, Kieran scanned the approaching fleet with calm focus, his knowledge of alien technology guiding his assessment. "They are advanced," he said quietly. "These are not ordinary visitors. Their intent is unclear, but we must assume they are a threat until proven otherwise." Queen Ravina joined them, her eyes narrowing as she observed the horizon. "How many ships?" she asked, her voice steady but sharp. 26, Kieran replied. "Their formation suggests coordination and strategy. They could strike quickly if they choose." The Queen's mind worked rapidly. Elindra's defenses were strong but untested against such advanced forces. "Liara, Kieran," she said, "we must act immediately. I will call a council of our generals and advisors. We cannot delay." Liara nodded. "We need more than just defense," she said. "We need a plan to unite all human colonies. They must work together, or we risk being overwhelmed." Kieran's eyes sparkled with determination. "Agreed. I can help design a system to enhance our defenses, combining human technology with strategies based on my knowledge of alien engineering." The council convened in the Grand Hall, attended by generals, diplomats, and the Queen herself. Liara and Kieran presented their plan, explaining how to strengthen Elindra's defenses while establishing communication with other colonies. Some delegates expressed skepticism, worried about relying on untested strategies and alien-inspired technology, but Kieran's calm reasoning and Liara's clear leadership slowly convinced them. Queen Ravina listened carefully, evaluating each point. She still harbored caution, but she recognized the truth in her daughter's words. "We will proceed," she declared. "Follow their plan, but remember, human lives are at stake. No failure will be tolerated." With the council's approval, preparations began immediately. Elindra's engineers worked tirelessly, guided by Kieran's insights. Energy shields were enhanced to withstand advanced weaponry, and defensive drones were deployed in strategic positions. Liara coordinated the efforts, her leadership inspiring confidence among soldiers and citizens alike. As the alien fleet approached, tension filled the air. Citizens watched from windows and balconies, their hopes pinned on the princess, the Queen, and the mysterious man who had become part of their family. The first attack came without warning. Alien ships fired energy beams toward Elindra's perimeter. The shields held, glowing brightly as they absorbed the impact. Kieran's system, combined with human engineering, deflected several beams, redirecting them safely into the void. Soldiers cheered, their morale strengthened by the success of the defense. Liara directed the counterattack with precision, coordinating drones and energy cannons to target the alien vessel's weak points. "Focus on their formation," she shouted to the generals. "We must break their strategy." Kieran adjusted the shield frequencies, ensuring that Elindra's defenses remained strong even under sustained attack. His knowledge of alien technology gave them an edge, allowing humans to fight effectively against opponents who initially seemed unbeatable. Despite the chaos, Liara moved calmly among the generals, offering advice and encouragement. Her presence inspired confidence, and even the most skeptical delegates began to trust the plan. Queen Ravina watched her daughter with pride, seeing the strength and courage that had always been a part of Liara's character. Hours passed, and the battle raged across Elindra's skies. The alien fleet adapted quickly, but Liara and Kieran anticipated many of their moves, countering with strategies that combined human ingenuity and Kieran's advanced knowledge. Gradually, the tide began to turn. Several alien vessels were forced to retreat, unable to withstand the coordinated defense. At one point, a massive alien ship broke through the perimeter and headed toward the city center. Liara's heart pounded as she realized the danger. "Kieran, we need to stop it!" she shouted. Kieran's hands moved quickly over a control panel. "I have an idea," he said, "but it will require precise timing. I need you to coordinate the drones while I adjust the shield's energy frequency." Liara nodded, trusting him completely. With careful coordination, the drones surrounded the alien vessel, while Kieran manipulated the energy shield to create a focused beam. The ship's engines faltered under the combined attack, and with a final burst of energy, it was disabled and forced to retreat. The remaining alien ships, seeing the failure of their strongest vessel, began to withdraw. Elindra's skies cleared, leaving only the glowing remnants of the energy shields and the cheers of a relieved population. Queen Ravina approached Liara and Kieran, her face a mixture of pride and relief. "You did well," she said. "I feared the worst, but your strategy saved us all. I see now that your bond, your trust, and unity made this possible." Liara smiled, her heart light despite the exhaustion. "We only did what we had to. Humanity is stronger when we work together." Kieran nodded. "And this is only the beginning. Other colonies will face similar threats. We must continue to prepare, to teach, and to unite humanity. The galaxy is vast, and we cannot face it divided." The Queen placed a hand on Liara's shoulder. "You have learned well, my daughter. I still have much to understand about Kieran, but I see his loyalty and skill. Together, you may truly guide our people toward greatness." As the celebrations began, Liara and Kieran took a moment to stand on the palace balcony, watching the stars above. The battle was over, but the work ahead remained. "We were lucky," Liara said softly. "This could have been a disaster." "Luck had little to do with it," Kieran replied. "Preparation, intelligence, and unity made the difference. Humanity is capable of great things when we believe in each other and work together." Liara nodded, feeling a renewed sense of purpose. "Then we will continue. We will prepare the colonies, strengthen our defenses, and ensure that no threat can harm our people again." Kieran's eyes reflected the starlight. "And we will do it as partners, as allies, and as guardians of humanity's future." The twin moons of Elindra rose, casting a silver glow over the city. Citizens filled the streets, celebrating the victory, while soldiers and engineers repaired the damage. The palace, once a place of diplomacy and ceremony, had become a symbol of human courage and resilience. Queen Ravina watched from her chamber, her heart full of pride. She had witnessed her daughter and the mysterious man face an unprecedented challenge, and she understood the truth that had long been forming. Humanity's strength was not in technology alone, but in courage, intelligence, and unity. In the quiet of the palace gardens, Liara and Kieran made plans for the future. Communication channels would be established with other colonies, training programs would be implemented, and strategies for exploration and defense would continue. Every day they would work together, building a network of prepared, united humans ready to face any challenge. As the night deepened, Liara looked at Kieran. "Do you ever wonder if the galaxy is ready for humanity?" she asked. Kieran smiled gently. "The galaxy does not decide. Humanity decides. And I have faith that with courage, intelligence, and unity, we can achieve anything." Liara took a deep breath, feeling the weight of responsibility and the thrill of possibility. "Then let us begin," she said. "Our work is just beginning, and the future is ours to shape." The stars above Elindra twinkled as if in silent approval. Humanity had faced its first great test, and with trust, unity, and knowledge, it had prevailed. The journey ahead promised greater challenges, but Liara, Kieran, and Queen Ravina were ready to face them, together. And so, under the glowing light of the twin moons, Elindra stood victorious, a beacon of hope and courage in a galaxy filled with uncertainty. Humanity had proven its strength, not through fear or domination, but through intelligence, unity, and the unwavering courage of those willing to lead. The days following the battle were filled with recovery and reflection. Elindra's citizens worked tirelessly to repair the city, rebuild defenses, and restore normal life. Yet, beneath the surface, a quiet excitement thrived. Humanity had faced an unknown threat and emerged victorious, guided by courage, intelligence, and unity. Princess Liara and Kieran walked among the people, offering reassurance, support, and leadership. Queen Ravina observed them from her chambers, her thoughts a mixture of pride and contemplation. The stranger who had arrived so boldly was no longer a mystery. He had proven himself through action, wisdom, and loyalty. Slowly, the queen's heart softened. She recognized the truth that had become undeniable. Kieran was a partner to Liara, and together they were shaping the future of humanity. Liara called a meeting of the council to discuss long-term strategies for protecting human colonies. Delegates from neighboring planets had arrived, eager to learn from Elindra's success. Kieran presented advanced techniques to improve energy systems, enhance defense shields, and coordinate fleets across distant star systems. His knowledge of alien technologies, combined with Liara's leadership and diplomacy, inspired admiration and respect among all present. One delegate spoke cautiously. "Your Highness, this knowledge is remarkable, but can it be trusted? How do we know it will succeed beyond Elindra?" Liara met the delegate's gaze calmly. "We cannot predict everything," she said, "but we can act with intelligence, preparation, and courage. The galaxy is vast, and we must learn to work together. Elindra's success proves that humans are capable of remarkable things when united." Kieran added, "We share this knowledge not to dominate, but to protect. Every colony has the right to defend itself. By teaching and uniting, we create a future where humanity thrives." The delegates nodded slowly, understanding the wisdom behind their words. Trust was being built, not through fear or power, but through shared vision and cooperation. Meanwhile, Liara and Kieran also took time to strengthen personal bonds with the Queen. One evening, she invited them to her private chambers. The room was quiet, filled with soft light from the twin moons outside. "You have done well," Queen Ravina said, her voice gentle but firm. "I have watched you both face danger and make choices that saved our people. I see now that my initial suspicion was misplaced. Kieran, I trust your intentions, and I recognize your skill. You have proven yourself a worthy ally, and more." Kieran bowed slightly, respectful yet sincere. "Your Majesty, it has always been my goal to serve humanity. and to work alongside Princess Liara. I have no other purpose here." Liara smiled at her mother. "I am grateful, Mother. Your support means everything. Together, we can ensure the safety and growth of our colonies." The Queen nodded. "Then we will move forward together. Humanity's future depends not just on courage, but on wisdom, unity, and trust. I see now that you embody all of these qualities." In the following weeks, Liara and Kieran worked tirelessly. Communication networks were established with distant colonies, allowing for faster responses to emergencies and better coordination of resources. Training programs were implemented to teach humans advanced techniques in technology, strategy, and problem-solving. Their efforts were not limited to defense alone. They encouraged exploration, discovery, and innovation. The story of Elindra's victory spread across human colonies, inspiring hope and determination. Citizens who had once felt isolated in their distant planets now realized they were part of a larger, united humanity. The combined leadership of Liara and Kieran, with the cautious support of the Queen, became a symbol of courage, wisdom, and partnership. One day, while overlooking the palace gardens, Liara turned to Kieran. "Do you think humanity will truly rise to this challenge?" she asked softly. Kieran smiled, eyes reflecting the distant stars. "I do. Humanity is resilient, intelligent, and capable of greatness. With guidance and unity, we can face any challenge and explore the galaxy with confidence." Liara nodded, feeling a deep sense of purpose. "Then we will continue. There is much to do, and the future awaits. Every colony, every citizen, deserves the chance to thrive." As the months passed, the human colonies began to flourish. Advanced energy systems powered cities efficiently, fleets of ships traveled between planets safely, and the knowledge shared by Kieran and Liara allowed colonies to defend themselves against threats that had once seemed overwhelming. Elindra became a beacon of hope, a place where courage and intelligence had shaped the future. The Queen, once wary, now took pride in her daughter and Kieran. Their partnership had not only strengthened Elindra, but had inspired other colonies to follow their example. "I see now," she said one evening, speaking to Liara, "that true leadership is not about control alone. It is about trust, collaboration, and courage. You have shown all of this and more." Liara smiled warmly at her mother. "I could not have done it alone, Mother. Kieran's knowledge, guidance, and partnership made all the difference." Kieran joined them, bowing slightly. "And your wisdom and support made it possible. Together we have achieved more than one person could alone." The Queen's eyes glimmered with pride and understanding. "Then let us continue, together. Humanity's journey is just beginning, and I have faith it will be extraordinary." In the palace gardens, the people of Elindra gathered for a celebration. Soldiers, engineers, scholars, and citizens stood together, honoring the efforts of those who had led humanity through a time of uncertainty. Liara and Kieran walked among them, offering smiles, words of encouragement, and reassurance. As the twin moons rose above Elindra, casting silver light over the palace and gardens, Liara and Kieran stood side by side. The battle had been won, but the work ahead remained. The galaxy was vast and full of unknowns, yet they faced it with courage, knowledge, and unity. "Kieran," Liara said softly, "we have done so much, but I know there is more ahead. Do you ever fear what we might face next?" Kieran shook his head. "Fear is natural, but it will not control us. Humanity is stronger than it realizes, and together we will guide our people through whatever comes. The unknown is not to be feared. It is to be prepared for." Liara felt a surge of hope. "Then let us continue, side by side. For Elindra, for humanity, and for the future." Kieran smiled, taking her hand gently. "Always, Liara, always." And so, Under the glow of the twin moons and the twinkling stars above, humanity's story continued. Elindra stood as a symbol of courage, intelligence, and unity, a reminder that even in the vast unknown of the galaxy, humans could rise to greatness when they worked together. The Queen, watching her daughter and Kirin, finally allowed herself a smile of quiet pride. She had seen the potential of humanity, realized through the bravery and vision of those who dared to lead, and she knew, without a doubt, that the future would be shaped by those willing to act with wisdom, courage, and heart. Liara and Kirin's journey was far from over. Challenges would come, dangers would rise, and the galaxy would test them again and again. Yet they had proven that through trust, knowledge, and unity, humanity could face any challenge. Together, they had laid the foundation for a legacy that would inspire generations to come. As the people of Elindra celebrated below, Liara and Kirin looked toward the horizon, imagining new worlds, new colonies, and new possibilities. Humanity had taken its first steps toward a future among the stars, guided by courage, intelligence, and the unbreakable bond between a princess and the man she trusted above all else. The stars above twinkled as if in silent applause, honoring the bravery, vision, and hope that had carried Elindra through its greatest challenge. And for the first time, Liara felt a certainty that the galaxy was not a place of fear, but of endless opportunity, an opportunity for humans to rise, to explore, and to thrive. Together, they faced the dawn of a new era, knowing that as long as humans believed in themselves, in each other, and in the strength of unity, nothing could stop them. And so, the story of Liara, Kirin, and the people of Elindra became a legend, a tale of courage, love, and the enduring power of humanity to shape its destiny among the stars.